quarterback decisions. We have Bo Nix, who's been on fuego lately, and Caleb Williams, who has also been on fire, except for minus last week, which we'll talk about. So we have this decision. Are we starting the guy we drafted in Caleb Williams, or are we starting the guy who we picked up off of waivers a couple weeks ago in Bo Nix? Justin, I'll let you start.
Yeah, here's something that the experts won't tell you on a lot of the sites. I'm looking at should you start Caleb Williams or Bo Nix, and 12 of the 16 experts will tell you Caleb Williams because he's just ranked better. But if you really dive into the stats, Bo Nix has the better matchup here. Surprisingly, even though he's going against Baltimore, apparently it's better. Baltimore gives up 2.1 passing touchdowns per game. 2.1. They give up 2 touchdowns a game. The Cardinals barely give up 1. So they give up about 1. All signs lead towards Bo Nix having another big game. The Baltimore pass defense is not as great against the quarterback position. And like we talked about yesterday, Bo Nix does get some of the rushing in games that he does really well in. So if Bo Nix gets involved in the rushing game and in the passing game effectively, all signs lead to Bo Nix having the better game. He scores more points on average over the last 3 weeks. He is QB6. Over the last 4 weeks, he's been QB2 or 3. Bo Nix has been on fire lately. That offense has figured it out, and somehow the Broncos are doing really, really well this season. But it's being overshadowed by the Chiefs. So,
yeah,
but I'm going Bo Nix right here.
Yeah, and it makes sense, and I definitely understand you're going Bo Nix, and I'm glad you did, and I thought you would. And I did look up some stats, and I did get prepared for this show, and I'm picking Caleb Williams still. Even though Baltimore is one of the worst passing defenses in the league, that's totally fine. Arizona is also one of the worst passing defenses in the league. The past 3 games, Arizona's given up 273.7 passing yards per game. That is second to last, but last is Baltimore. Baltimore is literally dead last in the last 3 weeks for passing defenses. So I understand that's why you would choose Bo Nix. I get that. Arizona's not sacking the quarterback. They're not getting to the quarterback at all. They're not top. I would say they're bottom 5 in sacks on team defense with only 15 sacks this season. Pretty bad. The New York for scale, New York Giants are first with 35. So they're about 20 off of that stat right there. So that gives me, the biggest problem with Caleb Williams is when he plays a team that can get to the quarterback, that can pressure him, he doesn't know what to do. Give this guy time. We've seen it time after time. He shreds bad, poor defenses. He has the weapons to do it. He has more weapons than Bo Nix. You talk about rushing. He rushes the ball as well. He averages 43.6 rushing yards per game in the last 3 weeks. So Caleb can get out of the pocket and make some plays on the ground. 4.43 yards a game rushing. Put in that perspective of touchdowns, that's 1 touchdown per game added because of his rushing stat with that 4 baseline. The Bears are a top 10 in passing attempts in the season. They do like to throw the ball a ton. Like I said, they have Keenan Allen, the corpse of Rome Odunze. Good luck with that guy, by the way. I'm trashing him when I'm trying to bump him up, but I can't help it. And DJ Moore, of course. They have and Cole Kmet. Like they have an all-star cast, and don't forget DeAndre Swift. Can't say that about Bo Nix. Bo Nix has been doing it on a fluke, in my opinion. I do think he's a decent quarterback, but how long can it continue? Will the bright lights really disturb him when he goes against Lamar this week? That's a big task. Who have they played in the past 3 weeks? That's what I want to know. It wasn't Lamar.
But Bo Nix also isn't going against Lamar. He's going against the Ravens defense, who has not been doing well against the quarterback position.
When you watch ESPN, it's always this guy versus this guy. I understand that. I'm just trying to be big national. You're wearing this
over the last 4 weeks. They've played against Las Vegas. Okay, it's Las Vegas.
Trash.
The Chargers, who their defense is okay. New Orleans, who has a pretty good defense. That was actually his worst game over the last 4 weeks with only 14 points. And then Carolina. So not really anybody. Again, Baltimore's
not the big stage. You know what I mean? Like Baltimore's a big game. None of those games were big games. That's what I meant by that. Right. So let's see what happens when he plays a big game. Let's see what happens when he plays a game that matters. Now that they're on this little winning streak and they're winning football games and they're looking better, let's see how the pressure adds to Bo. Let's see if it makes him better or makes him worse. Let's not forget his only supporting cast is Cortland Sutton. And people are going out there picking Troy Franklin up, hoping he gets 5 catches for 50 yards. It's not looking good over there. Bo Nix has been a lot better than what we expected, and I think that's what people are latching onto right now, but I don't see it lasting. Caleb Williams is the 101 or was the 101 for a reason. I'm not quitting Caleb unless he just starts putting up goose eggs, which he hasn't been doing. He started out crap, Now he's been really, really solid, minus last week. Last week was not good. But he played Washington last week, and Washington shutting everyone down.
Yeah,
Washington
that
shutting
wasn't
literally
a good
everyone down.
game until the final like 5 minutes of the game. So if you watched that game at all, it was field goals all the way until the very end. So, but yeah, he didn't have a great game against Washington. That's clear. But yeah, he's had good games against Jacksonville, Carolina,
Don't bring my
Indianapolis.
don't bring my. You said the Colts were
So
good. You said the Colts were good last
not
week on the
not not
show.
week three. Not week three. They weren't.
Last week on this show, you're like,
I
oh, they're
didn't. I
shutting
didn't
down
say.
Stroud. They're so good
I
on the passing
I
defense.
didn't
Give
say
me
in week three they
more.
were good. I didn't say in week 3
They
they were
got
good though.
Bob Sanders back out there. That's what you were saying.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
just- I don't
that's exactly what I said. Again, that was not week 3. So
I-
those were his best 3 games. The other games he put up 11.5 against the Rams, and then he hasn't put up 10 points. So
yeah, this one's going to be interesting, and it's going to be close. That's all I'm saying. So I can see it go either way, but I'm planting my flag with Caleb Williams.